Welcome to the Binge. No theme, no rules, no comfort. Just whatever happens to be clawing at the inside of the skull today. Tonight, it's reality itself. Or at least the version of it we've all agreed to trust without asking too many dangerous questions. The kind of questions that don't just sit politely on your brain, but start pacing. Start scratching. Start whispering things that make everything feel a little unstable. Sit with that for a minute, or don't. Either way, you're here now, and this is The Binge.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.
There's a moment, usually late, usually quiet, when reality loses a little of its grip. Not enough to snap, not enough to break, just enough to feel off. Like the world is running smoothly, sure, but maybe a little too smoothly. Like a system that's optimized past the point of comfort. Like something got tuned within an inch of its life and forgot to leave room for chaos. And if you sit with that feeling long enough, it starts to grow teeth. Start with the obvious. The machine beneath Geneva. Buried along the French-Swiss border, 100 meters underground, the Large Hadron Collider loops for 27 kilometers like a mechanical Ouroboros, swallowing particles, spitting out data, chasing answers to questions most people can't even articulate. It went live in 2008. It found the Higgs boson in 2012. On July 5th, 2022, it fired back up after years of upgrades, smashing protons together at 13.6 tera-electron volts, energy levels that on paper flirt with the conditions just after the Big Bang. Well, that's the official story. It's clean, elegant, and respectable, but the edges of it, those get weird. There's a scientist, real person, real credentials, Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger, Swiss, public health background, worked with international organizations, the kind of resume that usually gets you invited to conferences, not conspiracy forums. In interviews circulating since at least 2024, she's claimed that physicists associated with CERN spoke casually, too casually, about more than 3 dimensions. 17 in some tellings, not as theory, as working reality. And then she says something that sticks, not because it's proven, because it's specific. She describes a portal beneath the facility. A place where, according to what she was told, beings come and go. Take a second with that. Don't accept it. Don't reject it. Just let it sit there like a loaded gun on the table. Now, the responsible voices, the ones with tenure and press offices, say none of that is real. They say the collider cannot open portals, cannot generate wormholes, cannot tear through space-time like some drunken god with a crowbar. One physicist flatly stated you'd need an accelerator the size of the universe to do that. Fair enough. But here's where things get interesting. Not in what's true, but in what keeps recurring. Because CERN doesn't just produce data, it produces mythology. June 24th, 2016. A storm over Geneva. Violent, cinematic, the kind of sky that looks like it's thinking about ending things. Photos emerge. Towering clouds, strange formations, light bending in ways that make your brain itch. Within hours, the internet decides it's a portal. Not metaphorically, literally. A tear, a doorway, proof that something underneath that city is pushing back against the surface. Meteorologists call it a supercell. Photographers call it weather. But thousands of people look at the same image and see something else entirely. Evidence. Then, July 5th, 2022, the collider powers back on after 3 years offline. Within minutes, the same narrative resurfaces. Portals, dimensions, Gateways. Hell, in some of the corners of the internet, people are half convinced someone down there is trying to punch a hole straight into the afterlife. You can dismiss it. Most do. But here's the itch you can't quite scratch. Why does the same story keep reappearing? Different people, different years, same shape. If this were just about bad science, it would vary more. It would mutate wildly. It would collapse under its own stupidity, but it doesn't. It persists. Like a reused asset, like a texture file getting dragged into new scenes. Zoom out. Forget CERN for a moment. Think about the other anomalies, the ones people laugh off until they don't. The Mandela effect. Entire groups of people remembering events, logos, even deaths that never officially happened. Not one or two individuals misfiring. Thousands, sometimes millions, recalling the same wrong detail with unsettling confidence. Memory glitch? Sure. Or version mismatch. Think about déjà vu. Not the poetic kind, the sharp kind. The kind where your stomach drops and your brain whispers. You've already done this exact thing, down to the angle of the light. Neurological hiccup, they say. A timing issue. But it feels like something else. Like a buffer reloading. Now layer it all together. A machine recreating the birth conditions of the universe. Theoretical frameworks that require extra dimensions to function. Scientists, some fringe, some not, talking about realities stacked on realities. Reoccurring narratives of portals, even when debunked. Shared memory inconsistencies, moments where time feels edited. Here's the dangerous thought, the one you're not supposed to take too seriously. What if these aren't separate phenomena? What if they're artifacts of the same underlying system? If reality were simulated, not metaphorically but literally, you wouldn't expect constant chaos, you'd expect stability, repeatability, rules that hold until they don't. You'd expect edge cases. You'd expect glitches. You'd expect certain high-energy events, say, smashing particles together at near light speeds to brush up against the limits of whatever's running the show. Not tear it open, just stress it. Enough to produce anomalies, enough to create stories that sound insane but feel weirdly consistent. And maybe that's what all of this is. Not proof, not confirmation, just pressure marks. Little distortions where something vast and hidden pushes against the surface of what we call reality. Or maybe it's all bullshit. Maybe it's weather and bad memory and people trying to make meaning out of a universe that doesn't owe them any. Maybe the collider is just a machine. Maybe the portal is just a rumor. Maybe even the strange coincidence is just that, coincidence. But here's the part that lingers. Even if every single one of these claims is false, the pattern is real. And patterns don't happen for no reason. Not like this. Not with this kind of persistence. Not with this many people independently circling the same impossible idea. That something about reality isn't as solid as it pretends to be. You can ignore that thought. Most people do. You can scroll past it, laugh it off, file it under weird shit on the internet. But every once in a while, late at night, when the world goes quiet and your brain starts poking at things it shouldn't, it comes back. Soft, insistent. A question that doesn't need proof to feel dangerous. What if this is all running on something else? And if it is, what the hell happens when it hiccups? If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe.
Tune in right now. Got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast. Tune in right now. Got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast. Tune in right now. Got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast.